Hello, manifestors. It is Olivia Grace. I am the founder and CEO of the Master Manifestor Academy, where I help women break through their limits and blocks and break through their glass ceiling to allow in their greatest and wildest desires. Today, we're talking about the law of assumption, which has been just incredible for me. I've only been really studying it for a couple of weeks now, but it's already made massive changes in my life, and it's really kind of clicked together everything that I've been learning from the law of attraction and just everything I've been learning up to this point. So I'm super excited to talk to you guys about it. If you're catching this on YouTube, definitely like, comment, subscribe, and check the description for a link to my group where it's full of other manifestors so you can feel safe and get some of your answers, get some of your questions answered. If you're catching this in my group right now, feel free to type some questions in the little box down there and I'll answer them. The light is obviously like right in my face, so I can't really see, but I will check before I get off if you guys have any questions, all right? So there's a few things I want to hit on, so I'm going to jump right into it. So the main difference between the law of attraction and the law of assumption is the law of attraction is seeing the universe as something outside of you. It's seeing your desires as something that's outside of you, that if you align your energy correctly with it, it will come to you from the outside. The law of assumption is that you are knowing that everything exists inside of you. It exists as a potential, as a state that you can put yourself into, and that your desires are already fulfilled. They're already in existence. There is no coming to you or really anything like that. Either you are or you are not in the moment. But you are always God. And as God, you move through different states. So I'm going to use my own experience with this as I talk about it so that you guys can have something to kind of reference. And I'm going to be talking about weight loss because this is something that is very... has so many assumptions around it, so many concepts around it, so much just negative and limiting beliefs around it. Even in law of attraction, you don't really hear that, oh, you can just think yourself and you'll be thin, or you can just think about, whatever. It's still like, oh, well, you should envision yourself, you should be loving to yourself, but then you should take these actions and do these steps, right? That's another thing. Law of attraction can kind of leave you like, oh, I need to go do this thing. Like, okay, now I've put it out there, but now I need to do this thing in order for me to bring it into my life, right? The law of assumption is more that it is here now, and you have everything that you have now, or that you need now, and anything else that you do need, you will come across it. You won't have to go and find it. You will happen upon it, right? So, as far as weight loss, the next thing that's important, the self-concept. This is huge, you guys. This is a lot what we were talking about in the masterclass. If you caught it, then congratulations. Your desire should be unfolding any moment now. If not, then definitely check it out before I take it down. And I will be taking it down in a few minutes. Well, not a few minutes. I'm sorry, guys. A few days, but it will be available for purchase after that. So if you're, if you want to check it out now while it's free, I definitely recommend that. But your self-concept is how you manifest, right? So if you have a belief, even how you manifest, there's a belief behind that. There are people that think, oh, I have to do all these techniques. I have to like wash my money with like bleach and light candles and put sage everywhere and put, all these things and spells and full moons and rituals. Like they believe that they have to do all those things. So they do those things, and sometimes things manifest for them, but it's just the concept of yourself that I have to do these things in order to have what I want. So when it comes to me and weight loss, I realized that I had a concept about myself. My self-concept in regards to my weight was that I was a person that had weight problems. I'm always struggling with my weight. I've always been bigger. I've always been thicker. I can't be slim. I have to watch what I eat. And the thing is too, I wavered back and forth with this because I'm a manifestor. I've been manifesting for a long time. And in my head, even before I came across the law of assumption, which is a very limitless, you can do anything in any way type of manifestation or type of manifesting, even when I was using just the law of attraction, I still knew that there's a way for me to get what I want without having to do anything that I don't want to do, right? So, but at the same time, so how that manifested for me is sometimes I would be able to lose weight, and it would be funny because like I realized the correlation between my mind and my weight. Growing up, I always was on diets. I was always, exercising. I was always doing all this stuff, but my body was not changing much. I got older, got into manifestation, and honestly, when I kind of forgot about my weight, when I wasn't thinking about it, wasn't focusing on it, it just went down to this very like slim size, right? And so I realized like, and in those times, you guys, I would be eating so much crap. Like literally I was living off of like cosmic brownies, honey buns, candy, potato chips. Like I was living, and when I tell you living off that, like my whole room, I was staying with a roommate. My whole room was just full of snacks, and that's all I ate. Like to the point, my boyfriend now, we were dating, and he'd come over. He's like, dude, like, are you just bought that family size bag of chips yesterday and you're like almost done with it today. Like you need to eat healthy foods. You need to, eat better. But in that moment, because I wasn't focused on my eating, because I wasn't focused on my body, it didn't matter what I was doing, what I was eating, my body just became slim. But then my weight would fluctuate and it would continue to fluctuate. And then I didn't understand. I became really frustrated and upset because I was like, this doesn't make sense. I have literal so much proof that I can in fact eat what I want to eat and have the body that I want to have. But when I am looking I don't know how to maintain that, right? So that was my story that I had about myself. And when I realized like, what do I want? When I came across the law of assumption, I said, what do I want? I want to be able to eat whatever I want and not gain weight. I want to have my ideal body weight. I want to have a small waist, a flat stomach. I want to have these things. I want to be able to wear certain things and feel comfortable, right? And I realized in coming across that and really letting myself desire what I wanted, that's the other thing. When you don't really think that your desire is possible, or you have the story that you tell yourself, right? You don't even really let yourself want what you want. I've always really wanted to be slim, not like super skinny, but at one point I did when I was younger, but I always wanted to be slim, but excuse me, I'd never thought that was available to me. Growing up, my mom would tell me, you're naturally, she wouldn't say thick, but it was the equivalent of that. That's just how your body is. That's just how you're going to look. And I accepted that as true. What's also crazy with the law of assumption is that you can also change the past. That is called revision. And I'm going to have to do a whole separate video about that. But when you start to assume your desire, it starts to prove to you, like whatever state you're in, it starts to prove that as true. So I started to suggest to myself, because I know that I'm God, I know that I'm just occupying a state, right? So at that moment, I recognized, okay, I'm occupying the state of a person that has weight problems. So it doesn't matter what I do. It doesn't matter if I lose weight. It doesn't matter if I get on a certain diet. It doesn't matter if I don't do a diet at all. I identify as a person with weight problems. So I'm always going to have weight problems, right? So I decided to let go of that, you guys. When you become aware of your story, which we did in the masterclass, become aware of the story you're telling yourself, right? Oh, I can't manifest money. I never have enough money. Oh, people just don't like me. Guys just don't like me. Guys just disrespect me. I can't find the right guy. Like, look at this story that you're telling yourself, right? So your reality is going to prove you right every single time. So I decided I'm going to change my concept of myself. I'm going to change my state, and I'm going to come into the state of a woman that eats whatever she wants, of a woman that is naturally slim. And what happened was I had been looking back at old pictures of myself, and I realized that in my life, I've been slim more than I've been big, more than I've been so thick like I thought. But because all those times through my life, I had identified as a person that was thick, that was big, that was fat. And so that it didn't matter what I actually looked like. I felt that I was a person with weight problems, and that manifested continuously for me. All right. So your inner conversations, this is what you're telling yourself, right? And it's so like detailed, you guys. Like when let's say you're manifesting something, let's say you're manifesting like success in your business. I know there's a lot of entrepreneurs in this group. But you have an inner conversation. A lot of the times, like we'll have our desire, and we'll be doing all the things, right? All the techniques, all the whatever, listening to all the videos, watching all the videos, reading all the books. We're doing all the things, but nothing is changing, right? And so it makes us think, okay, well, this is not working for me. Something I'm doing is wrong, right? But your inner conversation, what are you telling yourself, right? A lot of people, if you ask them, like, what's going on in your business? Well, I just can't get it to get off the ground. You know, I've tried this before. This is something that so many people say, you guys. I've tried this before and it didn't work. So in the back of your head, even though you're wanting, you're hoping, you're wishing for it to work, the back of your head, you believe that it's not going to work. So how can it work? It can't work. You're creating your reality. So even if the opportunity is presented to you for it to work, it will not work, because in the back of your head, the concept of yourself, the concept of your business even, is that it won't work. It's not working, right? So you want to change your inner conversations. Talk to yourself. We talk to ourselves anyway, right? As far as me, my inner conversations, even though there would be points where I'd be like, okay, I can eat whatever I want, but my inner conversation was like, oh man, like I got to be careful, oh man, like I wonder how, if I'm going to like lose weight or gain weight. Oh my gosh, I'm not looking how I want to look. Oh my God, I'm gaining weight. Oh my God, my face. Oh my God, this, all these things would be my inner conversations, which is completely contradicting the belief that I'm trying to implement, right? So when you can implement a belief that says, okay, yeah, I'm naturally slim, so I can eat whatever I want. It doesn't matter what I eat. I'm actually naturally slim, and that's the state that I'm choosing. So here's the other thing, you guys. We look to 3D reality, right? We start affirming, scripting, doing whatever for about a week or two. And we look in 3D reality and we say, I don't see it. It's not here. It's not coming. I've done something wrong. I have to try something else. I need to hire another coach. I need to read another book. I need to, do some other technique. Whatever I'm doing is not working. But the truth is, you did not have faith in what you were doing in the first place. Now, what the law of assumption is, and what Neville Goddard teaches, is to live from the end, right? Living from the end. So a lot of times, and to think from the end. So when it comes to law of attraction, right? You think of the end. You think like, I would think of myself like having this nice body and whatever. I would think of myself having all this money or whatever, but I'm not thinking from the end, right? Because if you're thinking of the end, let's say again with weight loss for me, I'm thinking of the end. Okay, I want to be this person that can eat whatever I want and, has a nice body. So I'll eat whatever I want, but then sometimes I got to diet to make sure that I don't get too fat. And then I got to, make sure I'm doing some kind of exercise, and I just have to find what works for me. And, I know I'm never really going to be that slim because my body's not made like that. And so like all this other kind of stuff. So I'm thinking of the end, but I'm not accepting it. That's the thing, you guys. Accepting, like whatever you accept for yourself as true becomes true for you, and your reality is going to show that to you. So when you're living from the end, when you're thinking from the end, you've accepted that your desire is yours, period. So you see everything as part of the unfolding, and it doesn't matter what it is. Something that happens when you start to change the concept of yourself, when you start to put this stuff into practice, even with manifesting. I noticed this when I manifested, that when I was manifesting and kind of having a breakthrough in my manifestation, the opposite would always happen first. I would be, like, let's say manifesting clients in my business. I would first attract a whole bunch of clients that were like, no, it wasn't a good fit, and, or they couldn't afford my services. And so then what happens, what that is your old self purging, right? Your old self is leaving you, and it's kind of double checking. You're leaving this state and coming into a new state. But this state is what you've occupied. This state is what you've created your now with. Right? So when your now faces you, it's kind of like, okay, like this is your story. Are you sure you want to let go of this? right? And then that's the moment when some people say, well, no, oh, I'm seeing it again, you know, as far as like the business. Oh, wow, like my clients are not signing up. You know, I must be doing something wrong. For me with my body. Oh my God, my body is not looking how I want. I'm blowing up. You know, it must not be working for me. I must be doing something wrong. I must need to change what I'm doing, right? So, but when you're living from the end and you know that your desire is inevitable, you continue and persist through all that stuff that's coming up. You persist through the opposition. You see the opposition as, oh, wow, yeah, okay, that's the story I've been telling myself. So, of course, it's playing out in front of me. Lucky for me, I know I don't have to stay in that state. Don't look at your 3D reality for proof of what you're trying to implement now. You're just now trying to implement it. So it takes a minute for your reality to catch up to what you're implementing now. But what you can do is go straight to the end by inducing a state, putting yourself into the state of having, not the state of wanting, not the state of it's coming, it's on the way. Like, it's all about it's here now. So how do I feel now that it's here? And you guys, when I tell you that my whole idea about my weight loss and everything changed, because I realized that although I've been wanting this for all these years, I never accepted it as true. I never accepted it as real. So now that I accept it as real, I'm like looking at clothes. Oh, I'm gonna wear this, I'm gonna wear that, I'm gonna wear this, because I know that my reality is going to reflect my new story. You know, when I eat stuff, I don't feel that anxiety, right? I would be eating before, I would be eating stuff that I wanted to eat, but an underlying like anxiety of like, oh my gosh, this isn't healthy, or oh my gosh, like I need to eat something, whatever, different. But when you see that everything is only energy, everything is only what you claim it to be, all these states exist as possibilities within you, and you just have to choose and tune into that state. Ignore your reality. Your reality is only showing to you an old story. Abraham Hicks talks about it as chewed up gum with all the flavor out, because it's what you've been chewing on, it's what you've been creating, it's what you've been telling yourself, and that's it, right? So you can begin to tell yourself something new and persist, keep persisting, because like I said, this is where people mess it up or think they messed it up, is they'll do the thing, they'll persist, and then, you know, it shows them something opposite. They don't see it in their reality quick enough. They don't feel like it's unfolding the way that they thought. So they give up right then and go back to square one. Oh, I must need to start over, right? Instead of persisting through that and just saying, oh, that's not real. That's just what it was. Your 3D reality is not what's real, you guys. And this is really, that can be hard to accept. But what's real is in your imagination, because your imagination is the prerequisite to what you're experiencing in front of you, right? So if you can get into your imagination, if you can believe in your imagination, that's the thing. A lot of people can visualize, a lot of people can script, a lot of people can do the technique, but they can't actually believe it. So it doesn't matter. They stay in the state of somebody that just can't have that. Oh, I'm just a person that doesn't happen for. Oh, people just don't like me like that. Oh, money just can't come to me. I'm just bad with money. You know, oh, it's just too hard for me. All these things. Oh, I'm blocked. I'm limited. I'm cursed. I can't. All these things you tell yourself, they become true for you, right? And then you look at your reality and you say, look, it's true. It's real. You know, I knew it. No, you created it. You are an actor in your own play, right? Think about Denzel Washington. He goes through different states. He goes through different roles. He's in Man on Fire. He's in Training Day. He's in Safe House. But in all of those movies, he never was not Denzel, right? He was never not himself. He never identified and got lost in the story that, oh, now I think I'm this guy that, you know, my child or my whoever I'm watching being a bodyguard for just got kidnapped. He never started to identify with his role more than who he knew he was, right? So stop identifying with the role that you're in. Don't identify with the state that you're in. Don't accept like, oh, well, you know, I'm poor, you know, I'm broke, I don't have any money. So that just must be who I am. No, it's a state you're occupying. And if you want to occupy a new state, you have to speak into that state. You have to feel into that state before it can reflect into your reality, you guys. We look at our reality for proof, before we even really believe the thing. You can't look at your reality for proof of something you don't believe. Well, once I get a whole bunch of money, and once, you know, the dollars are flowing, then I'll be rich, and then I can claim that I'm rich, and then I can claim that I'm wealthy, and then, you know, I don't have to worry. But it's like, how can you be rich from a poor mind state? You will always manifest to be poor, you guys. I always tell you guys about when I was younger and Bitcoin had just like came on the scene, and it was $75. Obviously, we know now it's $60,000, okay? Somebody came up to me when it was $75 and told me, go buy this thing, you know? But because the state I was in, because I identified as a broke person, a person with money problems, the opportunity passed me and I didn't take advantage of it, right? So it doesn't, that's the thing, you guys. That's why it doesn't matter what technique you do. Doesn't matter like however you've been manifesting. It doesn't matter, like all these things don't matter, because if your state, if your self-concept, the way that you view yourself is the same, then it's going to be the same, you know? That's just, it won't work for you. The thing will be right in front of you, right? Whatever it is going to be right in front of you. But until you can be in the state of a person that has that, it won't matter. All right, you guys? So when it came to my weight loss, my body started changing very rapidly. I started seeing, like, it's very easy for me to believe these things because I've been manifesting for so long. So I know, in a way, I already knew that the world was just reflecting back to me what I'm believing. And I just wasn't aware of how that was going on with my weight. But once I changed my concept and start telling myself I'm naturally thin, I'm whatever, like I got off a diet, I was on a diet, I got off my diet, started eating the stuff that I wanted to eat, you know, and my body has been slimming and slimming and slimming, you guys. And I'm going to have some like progress pictures for you guys when I feel like I'm to where I want to go. But it's been crazy. My best friend came over yesterday and she's like, are you waist training? Like your stomach looks so small. Like, what are you doing? Like, you look like you're losing weight. You look like your middle is just so tiny and the rest of you just looks so good, and just all this stuff, you know, like literally telling me the things that I've been telling myself in my mind, right? And that's huge for me because it was just maybe a couple weeks, if even a couple weeks ago, that I did a photo shoot and I was looking at it like, wow, I look like I'm pregnant. Like I look like I'm having a maternity shoot right now. And I felt so insecure. But I had to move past that and realize that that's just a state. And if I can move into the state of the desire, the wish fulfilled, then that state will reflect back to me into my reality. All right, guys. So I intend that this made perfect sense for you. And as I'm speaking, there's so much that I could kind of elaborate on, but I'm going to be keeping you guys updated with my progress with everything. I told you guys I'm also manifesting an SP into my life, one of my old friends that I lost contact with, but everything is so available to you guys. I wake up now with this new joy for life. You know, when I first learned about manifesting, I had that real like joy for life, and now I wake up and I feel that. And it's just incredible just knowing that everything is in the palm of my hand. Everything is within me, and it's up to me to express it. And God is expressing himself through you. So, yeah. All right, you guys, that's what I got for you today. And if you like this, like it. If you feel like it can help someone, definitely share it. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Join my group in the description. Other than that, you guys have an amazing day. And I will talk to you guys in the next video.